Once upon a time, in a cozy little town called Greenfield, the rain was coming down pitter-patter, pitter-patter. The sky was all gray, like a big, soft blanket, and the streets were shiny with puddles. The school bell was about to ring, and all the children were rushing to school, hiding under their colorful umbrellas. They looked like a garden of walking mushrooms, red ones, yellow ones, green ones, all bobbing along the sidewalk. Among all these little mushrooms was a boy named Arif. Oh, Arif loved rainy days. He had a bright blue umbrella, the color of a summer sky. He wasn't just walking. He was dancing with the rain. He would twirl his umbrella, making the raindrops spin off like little diamonds, and he'd playfully splash his boots in the puddles. For Arif, a rainy day was a happy day. As he was humming a little tune and skipping along, he turned a corner and saw something that made him stop. There, under the big, drippy leaves of an old oak tree, stood a little girl. She was all alone. Her school bag was getting soaked, and her hair was damp from the mist. She didn't have an umbrella, not even a raincoat. She was hugging her arms, looking so cold and worried that she might be late for school. Her face was a little sad, and she looked like she might cry. Now, Arif's heart was as warm as a cup of hot cocoa. He couldn't just walk by and leave her there. His own feet stopped splashing. He walked right up to the tree, holding his blue umbrella steady. He smiled a big, friendly smile and said, "Hey, you're going to catch a little cold standing out here in the rain. Come on, come under my umbrella with me." The little girl looked up, surprised. She was very shy. She just looked at Arif with her big, brown eyes and didn't say anything for a moment. She probably thought nobody would even notice her. But Arif's smile was so kind that she felt a little bit braver. She gave a tiny nod and shyly stepped out from under the tree. So, Arif held his umbrella over both of them. It was a bit of a squeeze. The blue umbrella wasn't very big, so they had to walk very close together. Half of Arif's shoulder and his arm got wet from the rain, but do you think he cared? Not one bit. He was just happy that the little girl was now dry and safe. They started walking to school together. At first, they were quiet, but then they came to a very big puddle. Arif grinned and said, "Let's jump over it." And so they did. 1, 2, 3, jump! They landed with a splash and started to giggle. The long, wet walk suddenly didn't feel so long anymore. It felt like an adventure. They laughed as they carefully jumped over all the puddles, sharing stories and pointing out funny-shaped clouds. The sound of their laughter mixed with the pitter-patter of the rain. When they finally reached the school gate, just as the final bell was ringing, they were both smiling. The little girl turned to Arif, and her voice was soft like a whisper. "Thank you, Arif," she said. "My name is Nila. I didn't think anyone would stop for me." She looked so grateful. Arif just shrugged his shoulders, the ones that were still a little damp. He smiled his warm smile again and said, "That's okay. Rain's more fun when you share it with a friend." He didn't think he had done anything special, but for Nila, it meant the world. Later that day, the rain stopped. The sun peeked out from behind the clouds, making everything sparkle and shine. It was lunchtime. Nila found Arif sitting in the schoolyard. She opened her lunchbox, and inside were the most delicious-looking, sunny yellow mango slices her mom had packed for her. She carefully took out half of them and handed them to Arif. "This is for you," she said, her voice a little stronger now, "for sharing your umbrella this morning." Arif's eyes lit up. He loved mangoes. He took the slices and said, "Wow, thank you, Nila." They sat together, munching on the sweet, juicy mangoes, and the sun felt warm on their faces. And you know what, my sweethearts? From that day on, Arif and Nila became the very best of friends. They were always together. They shared their lunches, their secrets, and their laughter. They looked out for each other, whether the sun was shining brightly or the rain was pouring down, all because of one rainy day and one shared umbrella. So, what does this story tell us? It shows that even a small act of kindness, something as simple as sharing your umbrella, can make a huge, warm difference in someone's day. It can turn a sad, rainy morning into a happy adventure and even help you find a new best friend. Always remember to be like Arif. Look around, and if you see someone who needs a little help, share a little bit of your sunshine or your umbrella. You never know what beautiful friendship might begin. Thank you for listening to my story, my darlings. I hope you enjoyed it. Be kind to one another, and I'll have another story for you very soon. Don't forget to ask your parents to subscribe so you don't miss it. Bye-bye for now.